Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. My name is Maywood Mora. I'm the PESA Play DAO lead, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to share what we have done so far and where we are headed. Let me just share my screen so that we can all see the presentation, if that's okay. I hope you're able to see my presentation.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, okay. So I'll just start by giving a brief overview of what it is we are doing at PESA Play DAO, the mission, the problem, and the solution that we have created to address the problem. So our mission at PESA Play DAO is to pilot and validate 2 interactive animated e-learning modules with 25 to 50 Kenyan children, 50 children in Kenyan school ecosystems, which will bridge the financial literacy gap through engaging consequence-based digital learning. So the digital threat, which is basically the problem, is that Kenyan children aged 18 to 15 use modern mobile money systems daily without age-appropriate protective literacy or fraud awareness. They process digital values before grasping definitions of budgeting, saving structures, or mobile-specific threats such as PIN fraud and SMS spoofing. So our solution is to create an animated browser-based simulation modules where children engaged in structured decision-making trees inside a secured environment. So every choice within the animated e-learning platform triggers real consequences and immediate mobile feedback loops, reinforcing positive money actions and safety instincts. So basically the whole point of this is that we want to create an environment, a safe environment where children can learn soft money skills such as budgeting, savings, and also being able to identify threats within the digital financial space, such as fraud and SMS spoofing, in a sustainable way. On these platforms, the children will be able to revisit modules that they have challenges understanding, and also the data that will be collected from that platform will help us to address the gaps that are within, the learning capabilities of the children who are using the platform, or every child who's using the platform, interacting with the platform. So our DAO alignment, which is our goal, is to build and pilot 2 interactive animated modules targeting financial literacy and digital safety for children aged 8 to 15 in Nairobi school ecosystems. The regeneration target is to achieve full capital recovery of the $3,000 seed budget via school licensing deals and family subscriptions to build a resilient and circular ecosystem. So why did we take this approach? On the issue of the target context, Nairobi schools are selected for phase 1 to validate technical features on stable device hardware before broader rollout. And then the tone and spirit of this is that we focus on child-friendly gaming dynamics, consequence-based learning trees, and robust data privacy parameters. So going back on the target context, basically, I've had a few questions, especially from our DAO members, on whether we can implement PESA Play in another geographical jurisdiction, and this would also be instrumental in giving context on why we chose this target. So the Nairobi schools are basically going to help us pilot the product. So from this piloting program that we will conduct in Nairobi schools, which would be maybe a controlled environment, we'll see what works on the platform, what doesn't work, what improvements we need to make, what the data we have collected, what does it say about how children learn or on animated e-learning modules? And then if we are going to scale and do it in different geographic jurisdictions, then have we considered the issue on translating the materials or making sure that the translations on the platforms are accurate, or also based off of the lessons that we would have learned from the piloting programs that would be done in Nairobi, then how best are we able to implement it in a different geographic location? On also data privacy parameters, we understand that children are a very sensitive demographic, which means that their data is sensitive. Things to do with consent, participation, and just generally protecting children from the internet and how they are exposed to digital tools. So on the DAO members' involvement, we have 4 working groups within our DAO, and each working group has a working group lead and working group members. For the members of the DAO, they can find their respective roles and responsibilities in their respective working group plans. So in each of the working group plans, the working group leads as well as the working group members have created a breakdown on who the people who are part of the working group and their specific roles within the working group. I felt that it would be too much, it would be too long for me to add it here, but the working group plans are open for people to just look through and peruse and find out what their specific roles and responsibilities are. So for now, I would just want to mention the working groups and the core roles and primary responsibilities for each working group. So we have the execution working group, which is led by Dice Jr., who is also our technical lead. The core role and responsibilities for this working group will be platform coding, prototype iterations, hosting architecture, internal QA review, and pilot day setup. And then we have the regeneration working group, which is led by Joao. The core roles and responsibilities of this working group will be establishing a school outreach pipeline that is basically trying to onboard schools to accept us to test our product in their school ecosystem, and also licensing proposals, payment gateway setup, and parent ambassadors. I will talk about parent ambassadors much later when we are looking at the collaborators for our DAO. We also have the coordination working group, which is led by Sori, which is responsible for rhythm alignment, governance oversight, and weekly compliance, which will also include participation of members, tracking how the working groups are executing their roles, and so on and so forth. We have the documentation working group, which is headed by Jintare, which will be responsible for drive archiving, consent tracking, anonymized photo logs, results packaging, and final reporting. Basically, the documentation working group will be very instrumental on helping us collecting pre and post assessment data, and also analyzing the data and bringing now the final reports, which will be instrumental in final decision makings in terms of licensing on the side of the schools, and also evaluation and learning on our side. So our feasible and responsible plan is categorized into 4 different phases. So phase 1, which is from June 16th to June 22nd, which should be ending sometime soon, is to establish shared Google Drives and templates, to schedule school initial contacts, and finalize on working plans. From June 22nd to July 12th, this will be phase 2, the preparation phase. Will be to deploy stable browser links, internal QA passes, and execute signed school MOUs. From now, phase 2, we will be moving to phase 3, which is the piloting phase, which will run from July 13th to August 7th. This will include execute facilitated sessions with 25 to 50 kids and gathering assessment data. And then phase 4, which will be the regeneration phase, which will start in August 10th to August 21st, will be to present school improvement graphs to convert pilot data, this should have been data, into annual licenses. So once we've been able to do the piloting, we would first like to start with the schools where we will do the piloting. We will present the data that we have collected from the platform while engaging with their students. And we will now open discussions on licensing and how on the licensing plans that are available for the school, and also licensing and also platform use beyond the school that would be now at home, which would now include family subscriptions. So our current status on strategic foundations is that we have completed the master plan. So strategic foundations are locked. So comprehensive development of the
yeah, so please wait for some seconds. Maywood is coming back because of the Wi-Fi problems. Thank you.
So anyone from Supply DAO can continue the presentation.
Bismarck, do you want to continue?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, my colleague is having issues with their network, and let me share one shortly. Just a moment. Yeah, hope my screen is okay. So where she left at, or maybe, yeah, where she left was under the working group activation, right?
Yes, please keep continuing.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so under the working, I'll just enlarge this a bit. Yeah, that's okay. So under the working group activation, whereby you have the working group plan drafted, and all the four groups, that is the execution, regeneration, coordination, and documentation of not their core plans. They have the milestone to achieve. So this is under the operational workflow mobilization and refinement. So this proceeding on to refinement process, where the working groups are actively updating as well as polishing workflows based on the feedback ahead of the July execution date. And we have also the cross work group pipelines, or where the core dependencies. The examples are tech build hands-off, or the documentation and sales loops that are synchronized together. They are synchronized, they work together. under the current status on the school outreach and platform refinement is the school outreach campaigns were successful, and they underway alongside continuous technical platform testing to ensure they're robust, or rather
I
or
think
rather the
Maywood is back. So,
okay, just a moment.
so
Maywood,
Bismarck,
do you want to continue your presentation?
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's good she's
Yeah,
back.
okay. It's Bismarck. Maybe Bismarck can continue. I'm so sorry. There was a blackout, so
All right,
my
it's a
connection.
reminder that I think we only have like 2 minutes left for our presentation, so please hurry up.
Bismarck, you can finish for us, please.
Yeah, okay. Since we have 2 minutes, let's just do this little fast. Then, as I said, on our slide 7, we have the current status school outreach and platform, whereby we have the the schools outreach were successfully, the campaigns were successfully alongside continuous technical platform. The institutional outreach, we also moved to the local county engagement. From there, the administrative collateral, whereby there was formal outreach decks, partner school pitch folders, and the legal pilot templates in preparation. And the final was product optimization technical refinements for the browser ready. So, yeah, for the browser ready animated modules. When we move to our measurable outcomes, we arrived at a student impact rate whereby we had said we should be able to facilitate a session of 25 to 50 children across the Nairobi private network, and also validate learning curve. And our target is more than 80%. Also, the regeneration target whereby we had to where we are looking to secure initial school licensing discussions and test family subscriptions interest, and also audit the trail architecture. We have to store and pre-host sheets, verified drive logs, and payment settlement files. Moving on to how we allocated the budget. Under the execution, we allocated $1,200. That whereby we are we're going to do the refinement cycles, prototyping the refinement, testing and design support, as well as implementation activities. In the working group 2, we allocated a $600 cost, whereby we are going to reach out for the partnership and also sustainability planning, as well as visibility activities. So the work group 3, we have the coordination. We allocated a budget of 450, whereby we are going to meet the coordination communication system, as well as scheduling all the workflow support. The documentation was also allocated a budget of 450, whereby this will include reporting, archiving, and proposal of drafting presentation materials. We have the contingency reserve, which has allocated 300, and this will be only used for emergencies or any unforeseen DAO needs. This will total amount of 3,000. So under the external collaboration, we have the school, the local school ecosystem, and the parent association and CAT. So under the local school ecosystem, facilitating educators like teachers, the lead modules on school hardware, the scope to evidence delivery are supposed to be within 24 hours. This will include the observation logs and the pre-post assessment. We have the IT school coordinators, whereby the volunteering roles supporting device checks, browser settings, and also network access setup. Under the parent association and CAT, we'll be having the PTA ambassador group. This will be distributed according to family paid
Hello,
access
Bismarck.
codes inside.
I think Hello, Bismarck. I think we ran out of time, so can you please go through the other two slides and then we could move on because we spent so much time for this presentation.
Yes, let me just wind up. Then our next slide is the school and pilot readiness. Under this slide will be there will be focus on the partnership security and pilot logistics, as well as polishing the platform and operational handshakes. They'll include the lock-in school commitments, finalize onboarding packets, as well as refine field materials. In the platform polish, we'll be having incorporate planning feedbacks, deliver pilot-ready modules, and operationalize the working groups. And last but not least, we'll be having to transition the proposition to the implementation phase. This would include the establishment of timelines from the July 28th to August 7th. And we have to do also the complete pre-launch checklist to verify that all the critical the prerequisites, especially the 100% parental and guardian consent collection, and go live. These steps are designed to align the phase 3 execution date that will begin on July 13th. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Any
thank
questions?
you so much. Okay, thank you so much for the presentation, and I would like to start our session. So, speaking on behalf of DAO Facilitator for BBD, I would like to briefly share some observations from me and Mel to the DAO's proposal and planning process. So, Mel, can you please share our screen? Okay. Okay, so for our feedbacks, I think during our time working as a DAO facilitator for BBD, one thing that me and Mel really appreciate was the strong cross-functional structure established across our DAO and the working groups also. So the plan submitted is clearly defined how execution, coordinations, documentations, and regenerations activities connect with others, which helps creating a coherent workflow. And next is, I think another strength of the team is that we focus on the measurable impact. So instead of relying on the broad educational objectives, we also define clear structure metrics that will make it easier to evaluate outcomes and demonstrate impact. And last but not least, I also impressed by the team proactive approach to risk management. So we identify potential implementation challenges early. So overall, I believe that the team has built the solid foundations and is well positioned to move into the next stage. So, but I think as a part of the review process, I also want to share some recommendations with the team. So next slide, please. Yeah. So one area I want to remind is that we need to focus on the reporting and documentation. So during our discussions, I noticed that some reporting responsibilities were spread across multiple working groups. So streamlining these responsibilities could help you reduce duplications and make coordination more efficient. And another recommendation was related to the workflow alignment. And I also encouraged the team to align the workflow with the operational reality, since contributors are working across different schedules and locations and time zone. So it is important that coordination mechanism remain flexible and reflect how the team, how we could collaborate in practice. So, last but not least, I also recommend we to establish a clear tracking system for revenue flow. so that as a DAO facilitator, we could give an update on that. So next slide. Yeah, so I would like to open the floor for discussion. Next slide, please. Okay, so I would like to ask everybody joining today from other DAOs that do you have any feedbacks or suggestions that could help strengthen the plan of PPD DAO to further improvement and before the implementation phase begins? Please feel free to share any reflection or challenges or even lesson learned from your own DAO process.
Hi, anyone from other DAOs want to have any point of view or any questions about our plan? Please just open your mic and tell us your questions or your opinion. Oh, I see Mitch. Mitch, can you open your mic?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just now in the car in transit. So, but I was very impressed by the fact that the whole team wanted to protect the children's rights when it came to not only cybersecurity but cyber safety. So I think that's something that we all also need to really commend, not necessarily follow because we don't all have children going to participate or targets for the DAO, but very commendable plan that I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but she mentioned it a while ago. That was
Hi, Mitch. I think you turned off your mic. Can
oh
you
yes,
turn it
yes.
on again?
Oh yes, but yeah, Maywood. That was done. That was. I just wanted to commend them and to continue on the path to ensure cybersecurity and cyber safety for children. That's it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Mitch. And from BBD members, do you want to share something about your process of working in a decentralized group? There's some BBD members. Sorry, do you want us to share something?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending to the time you have. Um, I am Sorial Fatoli, PPD member, and I'm the coordination working group lead. First and foremost, I want to say a huge congratulations to our group lead, which is Maywood, for giving us this presentation about the master plan. And I've already said, okay, I've already said since we started this work, like for me, it's the first time working with in this decentralization program. But as time goes on, as a teamwork, yes, she has been trying. She is trying a lot and seeing most of us. For now, we have already adapted to the system, to the ecosystem, because as the initial, we don't even know most of what people what the program was. But due to as a teamwork and collaboration, for now, we are saying a huge thank you, and we have already tried to work on the plan. So to see how best we're going to give the cybersecurity stuff we talk about for the children from age 8 to age 15, to see how best they're going to have the literacy they need. So I want to say a huge congratulations to her and for all the PPD members. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for your sharing. And okay, I think we can move to on to next step. Yeah. So as the DAO facilitator has shared that we're coming to the phase that the DAO prepare for the proposal submission and voting on XDAO. So over the coming week, DAO members can continue discussing and finalize the proposal and continue using Discord to discuss and finalize. Or if you need any support, just ping us on Discord. And from July to until early August, PPD DAO will execute the activities outlined in the plan, and we will get updated in the dev execution since event on the August 14th. So I'm looking forward to seeing how BBD could bring this plan to reality over the coming months. So that's the end of our presentation.
I also want to add on some of the Q&A that you guys have submitted through the forms. The first one is during the execution phase, what is the expected turnaround time for Canberra to respond to urgent requests like payment issues or technical support for XDAO voting? So our answer for that is that when encountering payment issues, technical support bottlenecks for XDAO voting or other critical issue, the priority one of you guys is to self-support, especially review the Dev2 docs for immediate troubleshooting steps that we already documented it. And the priority two is peer support to use Discord so that you can engage with other participants for quick and localized problem solving. And also the third priority is to direct us through submit formal and urgent issue via the contact form that we already sent to you guys through the onboarding slides. And expected turnaround time is once an issue is submitted through a formal contact form, the review and assistance window is typically 1 to 3 business days. And the second question is that you guys asked about if we exceed the generation target of more than 3,000 US dollar, can the surplus be carried over to cohort 3 or reinvested into the project without penalty? So there is no penalty for regenerating more than the target of $300,000. So per the debt to reinvestment rules, regenerated funds, including any surplus, or are intended to serve as seed capital for DAO's next cycle in Debt 3. So the primary purpose is to fund future project cycles and to scale what works and enable self-sustainability. So successful DAO keep building with less dependent on the external seed funding. So yeah, there is no penalty for regenerating more than the target. All right, so I think that's it for now, and I would like to